Hello, everyone. I'm Angela, also known as Gelaroar, and I'm an artist from the Philippines. Welcome to Bedside Studios. So, a little bit about my artist background is I started joining the publication in my uni, and that helped me get into the world of marketing and illustration. So, I do paintings, portraits, fan arts, and I also do a couple of photo shoots with my friends, myself. So I just really love expressing myself through any creative outlet that I could get my hands on. Something that I have on repeat lately is one of Haley Williams's album, and this is sort of how I start my obsession turned into art kind of mindset. Is that I start with something that I'm interested with, such as that album, and I play it on repeat. Like, I'm not exaggerating if I say that I have it on loop for 8 hours straight. And that actually sparked me to delve into my interests. Like, one example would be having a Paramore themed college creative shoot when I had my graduation. So I have a little bit of pictures over there for you to see. And while my college friends were all glitz and glam, and I arrived in the studio with like lipstick on my teeth, trying to be kind of different. And then the second one in that same theme would be my birthday shoot this year, where I filmed like a mini music video with my friends. So the inspiration behind the music video was sort of breaking free because the song was called Parachute, and the music or like the sound of it is freeing. So the visuals of it is like more running and kind of being emotional in the woods. So the process starts with me choosing between like two songs from the album that I really love, and then I mapped it out in a whiteboard. Then I also chose what kind of beat style for the music videos. I also included that in the board. And then I also planned out my outfits. I planned out my makeup, and for the photo shoot to be different from the actual video itself, it also has like a separate section for it before arriving to that style. So everything was basically planned out from the song to the outfit to the feel of the pictures too. A piece of media that uh, feels really tied to a specific version of me is movies or shows or like series, because for example I do tend to play them repeatedly when I have something I really love, and that kinds of becomes my personality for a moment in time. And I could remember a few notable movies, such as Little Women, Lady Bird, Call Me by Your Name. Those coming of age movies really marked the highlight of high school to university. I could also remember being so interested at arcade, and that heavily influenced my art style. It impacted me in a way that I didn't expect it to be, that it really led me to push myself out of this comfort zone creatively and challenge myself to try new things like learning a new language, doing fan art again. And funny enough, though the music video of this year's birthday shoot was Haley Williams, it really kind of pushed me to do things that I always wanted to do. As a Gen Z, how I select my art or like how I put out my work is that I always ensure that it aligns with my values, kind of whatever I put out either on social media or on my work. I always make sure that it also speaks for me, whether it's like socially relevant or like things I believe in. For example, I do advocate for self-expression and inclusivity, and that those are really heavily influenced by the queer community. So I love drawing inspiration from that as well. And regardless of what trends that are currently on social media, I try to connect that and that to be relevant. So when I put it out, it's not just like only heavily influenced by the media I consume, but it also speaks for me as an artist, but also as a person. A song or scene that helped shape my emotional taste was the combination of the Disney storytelling or aesthetic that I grew up with and the alternative scene that I also recently got into, like in my teenage years, because though they are from two different worlds, it helps me reflect how I navigate through life. And it also helps me like realize things for myself. I also listen to a lot of like Hosier and Avo King. Those are also artists that I look up to. Because whenever I feel like I want to be introspective, they write their art or like their songs in a way that you really need to look into or learn for you to understand. So that is something that I do on a daily, like for every media that I consume. I always make sure or verify, oh, hey, is this right or wrong? What is the backstory? Basically, I want to know the lore of everything. So that also reflects with my work. When someone sees my art or my work, I want them to think, what's the story behind this? These colors, everything is intentional. So that's how I approach what I consume and also what I put out. I have this thing that I carry without realizing, which doesn't make sense because I just realized it now. That I am unique, but also if everyone is unique, then I'm just like anyone else. So what this means is that I'm grateful that I get to do this thing, like create art in a certain style that I also like and I'm happy about. But it is also comforting to realize that there are a lot of people like me. I love that I have people that relate to it, and that creates just such a special moment, like a part of being human. And things like that make me look forward to just doing more, keep on creating, and hopefully influence others as well. One tip that I would like to give artists or aspiring artists like me is to believe that you're not too cringe for anything. Shame would be your number one enemy. So for you to really succeed, or the first step that you would be doing is to put your work out there and to put the effort in doing it. That would lead you to many opportunities and possibly lead you to the right people. Thank you for listening. This has been Angela or Gelaroar. Thank you for tuning in to Bedside Studios.